it has come to my attention since the last video that I posted that a large part of last summer was actually all recorded and shared amongst the whole community with a link. They were all informed that I was consenting and willing participant in what was transpired to be the games of last summer, and everyone was playing on me, and it was not consensual. I was not aware of what was going on, and I was not told that this was happening. That's my firm stance, and I will stand behind that 100%. I was not directly communicated with at all. I have not had any direct communication with anybody about anything that happened last summer at all. Face to face, nobody's come and talked to me, nobody's come and said anything to me. What I've been told was now transpiring for most of last summer, the end of last summer at least, is I was being told, a link was being shared amongst the people of the Westend. They were being told that I was training the new AI tracker that they were setting up in Vancouver. And I was not informed of this. Have I been working with AI and creating AI content for a long time? Yes, I have. But I have not trained AI tracking trainer. That's not what I'm here to do. That's nothing. I'm sorry, I've just found out this information that all of last summer was shared amongst the whole community. And I knew there was lots of people that were aware of me and what was going on, and I could tell that there were points in time when I would be walking around and people would be gossiping like they were around the water cooler, and then they'd see me and they'd be talking about something that just happened to me. And then they would see me and they'd stop talking and they'd all go quiet. Or there was one point that I wrote on my phone because I had an email text going, like that's part of the way that I was getting communications, was through writing on my phone. And I couldn't figure out how they were seeing what I was writing, but I would get some sort of response, whether it was auditory or I would get a visual sort of response, or I'd get some form of response. And one night I wrote on my phone, is this a non-consensual TV reality show? And I just heard somebody yell from one of the buildings, yes. And it was like they were watching me around, like watching The Bachelor or something, watching Bachelorette, but they're watching me training this AI tracker, running around like an idiot, being told that one thing, using the voice of somebody that I care about deeply to trick me into doing these things, all to discredit me because I had a complaint against the Vancouver Police Department for my human rights complaint for not investigating my sexual assault. So they set me up to do this, to appear to the public that I'm doing this willing training, and I'm allowing everybody to view what I'm doing, and I'm allowing like some very vulnerable moments of my life, and they're gaslighting me at the same time, and I'm having to come to assumptions that this is what's going on, I assumed that I was it seemed just based off of what they're asking me to do and how they're asking me to do it, that it was an AI tracker, just with my knowledge of AI and being perceptive of my reality and what's going on around me, and that's what they were that's what it was. I was right. So they were trying to get me to train an AI tracker, and they probably didn't know half the reasons why I was doing what I was doing, because I'm ahead of the ball. Some of this is just clicking now. So because I knew so much about AI, I was able to show them things actually probably about how the AI tracker would work and what it was thinking, and they may not even realize what I was doing to show them why they were working the way they were working. And had they actually looped me in on what was going on, I could have communicated that with them. I could have explained why I was doing the things I was doing, and they would have probably gotten a lot more out of the whole experience for everybody. And I could have probably been paid even for that, because I was never paid for anything that happened to me last summer. There was no sort of financial compensation that was given to me, or there was no sort of meal reimbursements. I made $3,000 last year. That's all I made last year. And I made money off selling my condo, which I was forced to do to get onto income support. But then the cops or the people leading me around into basements at the beginning part of all this, kept trying to get me to go to a Coach and go to the expensive designer stores because they knew that the items I'd be purchasing would be left behind. And then they could go scoop them out for themselves. So at first I get led around. So first I file my complaint. I get the 818 gaslight, like within days of me filing my complaint, where they tell you that it's 818 within like 90 minutes of each other. And it's to get you confused you on time, but the 818 is, in a police code, is incident occurred, investigated, no charges filed. So they're gaslighting you. They do that to intimidate people and to get them to question their reality or to question their perception of reality. And I guess this is a common police thing that they'll do to people that complain or people that they don't like or that whatever. So they do the 818 gaslight in the weekend of steal my phone, make sure I can't get any evidence of what's going on. There's a number of other incidents that happen. I was an arrest at a liquor store that was way over exaggerated and definitely for my benefit. And then the threat almost to say that they can get me arrested for anything. And then an argument about somebody wanting to get me on the stand and how the Crown prosecutor loves to get these people on the stand and that'll get them there. And then if they don't get them on the stand, then we'll get them in prison. They love these kind of people in prison. And just this loud group of people at the park that were pretending to be drunk. And then they try and lead me into these basements to get human trafficked. From my perspective, that's what's going on. And that, like, I was led into a number of basements, and there's only one time that there's a person there. And I don't know anybody else that spends like 35 minutes getting their stuff together in a basement parking lot with a strange man and a woman and her kid. And so she took about 35 minutes to get all her stuff organized to leave, while like keeping a very close eye on me, but still not moving faster to get out, which seems weird to me that she was there for so long. And that doesn't work. So then they have me train the AI tracker, I guess, and they tell everybody in the community that I'm doing this willingly, and they share this link. Everybody else is watching this link, and like from what I'm now being told, and everybody in the community had this link. Everybody in the Westend, all of them had it, and they were all watching this, and they're all laughing at me, and they thought I was the butt of some joke for so many people. And I had no idea that was what was going on, and nobody communicated that with me, but they were just trying to make me look like an idiot so that my complaint was less valid, I guess. Not that it's okay to, that makes it okay for them to not investigate the sexual assault I experienced, because I'm a man, and I was in a bathhouse. That makes it okay, all of the other stuff. But that happened afterwards, so how did that doesn't justify anyways, it doesn't justify not doing that. Like it's all very obvious to me that it's all related, and the fact that my whole community just let me run around like that and didn't even try and check in and see if I was okay. And I'm obviously losing lots of weight. I was 130 pounds. Like, I had no money. I was stealing all the food that I had to eat. Like, people were, and then they like actively like try and like they point out like Imodium and stuff at in the pharmacies and stuff. Like, people would literally point it out at me, and then and it's because I felt that in the bathroom was the only place nobody was watching me. It was one of the only places that people weren't really watching me. So I would just hang there for a little bit because it felt like calming. That's part of why they pointed at the Imodium. Because at least it's not a moment where I'm like being a spectacle for everybody's enjoyment. Yeah, that's kind of gross that the whole community just lets somebody go around doing that, and just believes one person says they consented and it's okay now. He consented for him, it's okay. We're not going to check and make sure that his consent is. We're not going to check with him first to see if he's actually consenting. We're just going to take somebody else's word on it. Well, I guess based off whose word it is that you're taking it from. What do you guys say?